Hey guys, my name is Mark from Thrillhouse Entertainment, and I'm working on a new video game in collaboration with Moonrift Entertainment that I'm really excited about, so I wanted to start doing some devlogs and show off what I've been working on. The game I've been working on is called Freebooter, and it's a 2D side-scrolling Metroidvania action game with a top-down pirate-themed overworld. I wanted to make a game that I would have been really excited to play as a kid on the Super Nintendo, so I'm trying to add a modern twist to an old retro side-scrolling action game. When you play this game, I want you to think of a 2D Assassin's Creed Black Flag with Metroidvania combat, collection, and puzzle mechanics. I've been working on this game for about 8 months now, and I'm aiming for a November release. I think it's coming along pretty well, but I'm pretty biased, so let me show what I've got working, and feel free to let me know if you think it's terrible or if you think it's good. Just tell me in the comments. The first thing I want to show you guys is this. This is the Overworld. This is where the player traverses the world, explores things, and battles and loots enemy ships. The player accelerates with the W key and slows down and stops with the D key. The A and D key point the player left and right. The player fires their left and right cannons by hitting the left and right arrow keys. You can see on the top left there are a couple health bars. The blue health bar is for the sails. If your sails get damaged, you slow down. The green health bar is for your hull, and if your hull gets damaged all the way, you die. Like what just happened there. Well, that was kind of embarrassing. If you look down at the bottom of the screen, you'll see the toolbar. From here, the player can add any items or weapons in their inventory to the toolbar and then equip it to use later. I plan on adding a lot more in the future, but for now I only have 2 different types of cannonballs. There's regular cannonballs that do mostly hull damage, and then there's chain shot, which mostly just does damage to the sails. Once you've brought a ship down to 0 hull health, it'll start to sink. Once it starts sinking, it turns black, and you have about 10 seconds to loot the ship. To loot the ship, you just pilot your ship on top of it and wait 3 seconds, and then you're awarded whatever loot the ship had in it. In this case, it looks like we got some silk. Go us. Any items that you loot from ships automatically get added to your inventory. You can pull up your inventory by hitting the I key, like that. A lot of you may have already noticed this, but there is a weather system in the game. As you travel around the map, you'll sail into different weather systems. Each weather system generates one of 7 different weather conditions it picks at random. It also cycles through different weather conditions on a random basis as well. These weather conditions don't just look pretty, they actually affect the game itself. Windy areas will blow your ship off course, and fog zooms the game camera in to simulate restricted vision. The player can only loot cannonballs from pirate ships with red sails. However, they can loot almost anything from the merchant ships with gold sails, including treasure maps. When a player picks up a treasure map through looting, a big red X is revealed on the map. If the player pilots their ship to that X, it takes them to a treasure grotto. The treasure grottos serve as our main dungeons for the game, and function like your standard side-scrolling adventure game. The player moves left and right with the A and D keys, jumps with the space key, ducks with the S key, and can slide by hitting the duck button while moving. The player can attack with the E key or the right key, and block with the Q key or the left key. You'll notice here that the ledge catching and climbing functionality isn't exactly where I want it to be. I know, I'll get to it. It's a bug, it's on my list. Each treasure grotto has a boss at the end of it. In this case, it's the golem. This boss guards the final treasure, as bosses are wont to do. There is a knockback system in place, where if the player gets hit by a large enough attack, it'll knock them back. After the player defeats the boss, they can retrieve the treasure by opening the treasure chest. In this case, the chest contains bombs, which is the first of the special items and abilities that I'm going to include in the game. The player can equip the bombs, and then throw them at whatever destroyable object they want to, and then it'll wait a little while and explode, like every single game since Legend of Zelda. And there you have it, guys. That's basically where I'm sitting with Freebooter. There's a couple other things that are kind of working, like I have some shop systems in place that kind of work, but they're super buggy and I'm going to redo them when I put towns in the game anyway. It's also worth noting that all of the art from this game has come from Kenny Assets, OpenGameArt.org, and itch.io. Huge shout out to all the content creators out there who make those. None of the art assets that I'm using right now are going to be in the final build. These are all just stand-ins, but I couldn't have made it this far without any of them. I'll give as much credit as I can in the comments, but I'm not actually entirely sure where I found all of them. But please, Let me know what you think of the game. Let me know if you think it's cool, if you think it's a terrible idea, anything like that. Like, share, and subscribe, all that stuff. I plan on putting out devlogs once a month as I make more progress on Freebooter. Have a good one, guys.